Welcome one and all to Puppet History Online University. Today we'll be taking an ever-winding look at yet another chapter in the heavy book we call history, while our guests ruthlessly compete for the coveted title of History Master. I am obviously your beloved host, the Professor. Thank you. Ryan Bergara, are you ready?
Who puts beloved in front of their own name in their own introduction?
I did not write that. Our producers wrote that.
You sure said it.
Special guest Matt Real, are you ready?
It's pronounced Real or Real.
Sorry, Real.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Then let's crack in. Now, before we begin, have either of you ever been to Italy?
No.
No, I have not.
Thank you for those verbose answers. This is gonna be a great episode. Now, in the 1st century CE, much like today, you could do a lot worse than living near the coast of southern Italy. The weather is temperate, the sea a rich azure, and the land is bountiful. Yes, sir, it's no great leap to say the area around present-day Naples has historically been a true Mediterranean paradise, with one brief and extreme exception: the 36 hours when this idyllic heaven turned into hell on earth. Today we're talking the Pompeii circumstance.
Oh.
I love it. I don't love it, but
Well,
it's exciting.
We don't love all of the horrible things that happened throughout history, but we love to talk about them.
I think you might, but I don't.
You just said you love it.
I don't remember that.
Well, in 79 CE, the Roman Empire was thriving. It was still adding to its territories and would continue to do so for another 40 years. The Colosseum was about to open.
Hell yeah. That's like the equivalent of like an arc light, right?
It's their Staples Center.
Nice.
So Roman citizens were looking forward to lives of enjoying progress and dominating the Mediterranean. A mere 150 miles from the capital in Rome, Pompeii was an important industrial hub and port. The city's socioeconomically diverse population of around 12,000 enjoyed public baths, theaters, brothels, and no fewer than 150 bars and taverns. Pompeii's farmers were famous for their onions and for their vineyards, whose wine, oh boy, resulted in tremendous hangovers. Reportedly. Now, there was one practice popular in ancient Pompeii that today we'd maybe find surprising, as it's usually against the law. Oh, answer this question correctly for a history point. What modern-day crime was surprisingly common practice in Pompeii? A. Graffiti. B. Identity theft. Or C. Performing unlicensed surgery.
Okay, I left my thing over there. I have to get it. I'm sorry.
Ryan, are you locked in?
No, I'm making an audible. Hold on. Fuck it. Whatever. A, graffiti. Sure. Why not?
You went for graffiti. Matt, what did you put?
It's absolutely B, identity theft.
Point to Ryan, as the answer is graffiti. Pompeii was lousy with the stuff. In the Roman world, graffiti was considered a respected form of writing. Visitors would write their reviews of the city on the wall like an ancient TripAdvisor. Campaign messages and advertisements were also common, such as one scribbling that proclaimed Calidus the Thracian, the lady's choice among gladiators. Ancient lovebirds would even use graffiti to flirt, with one instance reading, quote, "Health to you, Victoria, and wherever you are, may you sneeze sweetly." Aw. More to the point, one wall of a brothel has etched in it, "Posparus fucked here."
What now?
Posparus fucked here.
Well, I mean, it's informative. I now know where Posparus was fucked.
Most creative among the tags, though, were the insults. Examples include, "Sonius to Cordelius, go hang yourself." "Coridon is a country bumpkin." "O Epaphras, thou art bald." And, "O Epaphras, thou art no ball player." I don't know who Epaphras was, but roasted 2 times.
It's just Twitter.
Yeah, basically, it's social media.
I'm gonna start tweeting at every Los Angeles Clippers basketball player, "Thou art no ball player." I think that's amazing.
For a history point, each of you is to write an insult directed at the other in the style of Pompeii graffiti. The insult that cuts closest to the quick will earn a history point.
I feel like I know Ryan better than he knows me.
He might, yeah.
Oh, hang on. I gotta write it like they wrote it.
Yeah, I mean, certainly points for style. And for effort, Ryan.
Let's see, I'm actually struggling here to think. I don't want to insult, man.
Bring it, you coward.
Jesus Christ.
Ryan, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, it's not my best work. Matthias's mustache is as large as he is stupid.
Oh, yeah, it's better than mine. Bergara, thou have poor taste in things in general.
What the heck?
You know what, Ryan? I'm gonna give that one to you. Not only did you insult his character, but also his appearance, which is frankly very rude.
Well, you made me do it, so you're a rotted man or thing or whatever you are.
Damn.
Don't call me rotten. As interesting as ancient graffiti is, Pompeii isn't world famous for its street art, but for its neighbor, Mount Vesuvius. The morning of August 24th, 79 CE might have seemed like a normal one for the folks living in the shadow of Vesuvius. Perhaps Epaphras was losing a ball game and Callidas the Thracian was getting juiced at the gym. What did anyone have to worry about? Oh, that dumb old volcano? Why, that lazy thing hadn't erupted in about 700 years. As one then 18-year-old would one day recall, quote, "There had been noticed for many days before a trembling of the earth, which did not alarm us much, as this is quite an ordinary occurrence."
Now, was Vesuvius, was that like situated on top of any kind of like fault line of some sorts? Like what actually caused it to erupt?
It's a volcano.
It's a volcano. Yeah, volcanoes aren't necessarily on fault lines.
Well, I guess I don't know much about volcanoes. Why do volcanoes erupt over time? Is it a buildup of gas?
Yeah, it's like pressure, stuff.
Aren't you a professor?
Some Taco Bell.
Yeah. Maybe a little too much fire sauce, huh? 20 miles across the Bay of Naples from Pompeii, that 18-year-old, Gaius Plinius Caecilius Secundus, better known as Pliny the Younger, was chilling in a villa. He was staying in the town of Misenum with his mom Plinia and his uncle Pliny the Elder. That's right, 3 folks sharing a villa, all basically named Pliny.
Wait, is it? I thought it was Pliny.
Yeah, but that's wrong.
Oh.
Pliny the Younger would go on to write 2 letters of great historical importance detailing the events that were about to unfold. Pliny's uncle was actually a pretty big deal too. At the time, Pliny the Elder was 55 years old, heavy-set, and the unfortunate operator of a weak windpipe. Not sure why we know that, but cool. He was also the commander of the Roman fleet at Misenum, and in addition to his military accolades, possibly the best damn naturalist in all the ancient world, having written a 37-volume work called simply Natural History. If you're wondering why he never wrote a 38th volume, stay tuned.
Was it easier to be a naturalist?
I would guess, because back then it was like, hey, here's a bird that no one has ever written about. Hey, it's red. And everyone's like, he's right, that bird is red. Around midday, Pliny noticed an unusual cloud forming to the east across the bay, and asked her naturalist brother what he made of it. Pliny the Elder put down his Pliny the book, put on his Pliny the shoes, and climbed to a higher vantage point to see what all the fuss was about. As his nephew would write, quote, "A cloud was ascending, the appearance of which I cannot give you a more exact description of than by likening it to that of a pine tree. For it shot up to a great height in the form of a very tall trunk, which spread itself out at the top into a sort of branches." For context, when young Pliny says very tall, he means it. At its maximum height, the cloud of ash reached 18.5 miles into the sky. That's 1/3 of the way to space, something the Plinies didn't even know existed yet.
Yeah, that would
be scary.
probably look like there's a crack in the earth.
Also, I don't really know, I know he's sort of blazing the trails with his naturalist writing, but I don't know how much experience they have with volcanoes.
Yeah, had anybody climbed to the top and looked inside and been like, well, it looks hot in there?
Is that what's inside a volcano? Is it just like a toilet bowl?
I mean, I don't think they're all cartoon toilet bowl volcanoes.
I don't think they would know, right? Because it's 800 years since it had ever erupted.
Yeah, they don't have the context.
And I guess the sheer fact that he was like, it looked like a big tree, probably suggests that, yeah, they don't know what a volcano is. Clearly, something was going on near Vesuvius, but it wasn't until Pliny the Elder received some mail that he decided to go check it out. For a history point, what? Hang on. Well,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
The cloud is in the air for a while, a couple days?
No, this is one day.
And he received the mail the same day.
We actually looked into this to try and figure out how this mail arrived on his doorstep, and there's not a lot of details about it.
Primary sources.
Yeah, we try our best, but some history is just a mystery. For a history point, what was in the letter that spurred Pliny the Elder to act? A tavern owner worried that his elderly patrons wouldn't be able to flee the city. B, a soldier stationed in Pompeii, nervous about abandoning his post to help citizens evacuate. Or C, a rich lady worrying about her house.
Why would they talk to him? Just because he's smart?
Well, he was a military man, and I think they figured in times of emergency, maybe we should turn to this guy who is good under pressure.
All right.
Ryan, what'd you put?
I put C, rich lady likes her digs.
Rich lady likes her digs. And Matt?
C.
Whoa, we got a couple of sea dogs out there. That's a callback to the other episode, Matt, I think.
Didn't work in that one either.
Yeah. I think we're about to find out in the form of an incredible reenactment. Completely historically accurate.
Of him reading a letter?
Some mail for you, Uncle Plenty. Nephew Plenty, read this correspondence aloud to me now.
It's from Rectina, wife of Bassus. Sounds like a villa at the foot of Vesuvius is in trouble. She can only escape by sea and wants you to come pick her up.
Rectina who?
Wife of Bassus.
Bassus who?
Husband of Rectina. Listen, they're rich and they're in trouble, okay?
In that case, I shall launch the Roman fleet. Also, how did she send that letter?
Nobody knows.
Weird that Nephew Pliny sounds exactly like a John Mulaney character.
Yeah.
Oh shit! It's
History
Bono.
points
Holy
for both
smokes!
of you. Congrats! So throughout history, the only surefire way to get someone in government to act is to have a rich lady complain, apparently.
The Karen.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly, yeah. So,
An ancient Karen.
Yes, an ancient Karen. Now, to Pliny the Elder's credit, he set sail not only to save Rectina, but also to rescue all the towns along the coast. When he asked his nephew if he wanted to tag along, Pliny the Younger replied, no.
Dead men tell no tales.
Pliny the Elder, captaining the Roman fleet, set sail across the Bay of Naples straight towards Vesuvius. As he got closer, however, the going got a little dicey. The sea was rapidly retreating, risking the ships running aground. The mountain was shedding giant pieces of itself, which were rolling down and blocking the shore, and all the while cinders, pumice, and burning rock rained down upon the ships. Pliny the Elder had a decision to make. Turn back or press on. As debris crashed down upon his ships, what did Pliny the Elder famously say to his ship's pilot? A. Fortune favors the bold. B. If you are weak in crisis, you are weak indeed. Or C. If you want the rainbow, you gotta put up with the rain.
Oh, damn.
Those are all good.
I've heard the first one, but I don't think it was him.
You guys are locked in?
Yeah.
All right, Ryan, what'd you put?
I'm gonna go B for bravery.
B for
I
bravery.
think that sounds the most old Englishy. It sounds most of the times.
All right, and Matt?
B, when the shit gets going, you also get going.
Points to no one.
What?
It was A. Fortune favors the bold. That was him.
Wow.
In this moment.
Why would he be getting any fortune from this?
Yeah, that's that doesn't even make sense.
No, the quote is saying fortune favors the bold. So if you make bold choices, fortune will favor you. Do you get that?
Oh, I see. He's talking about just in general as a way to live life, not that there's going to be fortune waiting at the end of the proverbial rainbow here.
Yeah, he's not planning to go toward the volcano and find a pot of gold.
I hope that's the last thing he ever said on Earth, because that's a very funny last quote. Fortune favors the bold! Then he just gets hit with a lava rock right in the head.
I'm gonna be okay, splat.
All right, moving along. Huh? Now hang on a second, that sounds familiar.
Oh, hey, everybody.
Oh, wow, it's our old pal, the propeller from the Britannic. Good to see you, buddy.
Looks like you're doing another season, huh?
Huh? Oh, yeah, well, you know, a lot to cover. History's very long, so...
Yeah. You got some fancy new friends this season, seems like.
Well, you know, always new folks stopping by, sure.
Hey, you remember my song from season 1?
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Well, I mean, how you been otherwise?
Oh, yeah, I'm here with a word from our sponsor, Skillshare.
Oh, nice. I love a sponsor. Keeps the theater lights on. Tell us about it, pal.
Well, after my guest spot on your show last season, I realized I'm a pretty creative guy, you know? Can't just spend my whole life hauling big old boats around. I'm an artiste.
Sure.
Yeah, that's where Skillshare comes in. It's an online learning community for creative folks like you and me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they got thousands of inspiring classes on a whole range of topics like illustration, design, photography, video, and more. Me, I've got my sights set on Tinseltown, baby. So I'm exploring the ins and outs of filmmaking thanks to classes like creative video storytelling and editing taught by Nikki Stevens.
Oh, that sounds fun and educational.
Yeah, things are really taking off for me in a big way. I'm optioning the screenplay of my biopic. We're still trying to cast the lead, but we're in talks with Topher, Grace,
Oh, wow. I guess I can see the resemblance.
Hey, look, most of the classes are under 60 minutes, so you can squeeze them in anywhere. They're great for people of all skill levels, whether you're just a creative dabbler or a full-on professional. And there's no ads. And with an annual subscription, it's less than $10 a month.
Wow, that's a steal.
Yeah. And the first 1,000 subscribers to click the link in the description will get a 2-month free trial of premium membership, so you can explore your creativity.
Did you say free?
Yeah, did you not hear me?
Oh, no, I was just trying to hype it up a little
Okay,
bit.
Del Close. Look, I don't need you yes-anding me left and right over here. Why don't you just stick to your little stories? Anyway, I got a Zoom with Topher to lock this thing down. Let me know if you need me later in the season, and I'll see if I can pencil it in. I'm real busy now.
All right, good seeing you, buddy.
Well, I'm a propeller, an awfully creative feller.
Ah, what a guy. All right, where were we? Ah, yes. Now, finding the direct route to Vesuvius impossible to navigate, Pliny the Elder pointed his ships 9 miles south of the mountain to the estate of his friend Pomponianus. Back-to-back questions.
Ooh.
When Pliny the Elder arrived at his friend Pomponianus's, his first course of action was A. Saddle up all the horses and make for Pompeii. B. Evacuate Pomponianus's family to the relative safety of the coast. Or C. Ask for dinner in a bath.
I really want it to be C because that would be very funny, but I do believe it's B. Let's hit the surf.
All right, Ryan's going B. And Matt?
Scrub-a-dub-dub.
He's going scrub-a-dub-dub. All right, well, let's find out. Oh, holy shit. Ah, Pomponianus, my dear friend. Troubling times. Oh, thank God you're here. Jesus Christ.
Oh no.
Oh, that guy who died a couple years ago? What about him?
Oh no.
Pliny, the mountain is exploding. What should we do? This is gonna blow over any minute. Try to relax. Meanwhile, I am beat. I'm gonna take a nap. It would be great if you could have someone wrestle up some dinner and draw me a bath.
No.
Thank you.
Are you kidding me?
We love it.
That's crazy.
I know, I buy it. What do they say? Why worry till there's something to worry about, right?
Well, not really though. The mountain was falling apart. I feel like that constitutes worry.
Point to Matt. Pliny the Younger speculates his uncle's actions may have been an attempt to calm everyone down, but still, that is a bold choice.
I was just about to say, do you think this is performative bravado or something like that?
Could
to
be.
maybe even convince himself that he's a big man?
When they drain the tub, it's just bricks of shit.
While Pliny slept, things, well, they didn't get better. The courtyard leading to Pomponius's was rapidly filling with stones and ashes, and if they didn't want to be trapped, they needed to get a move on. Somebody woke Pliny the Elder, and as Pliny the Younger would later write, quote, they consulted together whether it would be most prudent to trust to the houses, which now rocked from side to side with frequent and violent concussions, or fly to the open fields, where the calcined stones and cinders fell in large showers and threatened destruction. Oh, what did Pliny the Elder's group decide to do? A. Stay inside and hope another nap would do the trick. B. Tie pillows to their heads and run to the shore. Or C. It's the end of the world! Orgy time, baby.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Much to think about.
Oh boy.
Much to think about.
Oh no, I dropped my pen. Let's go with C, Bone Town, baby.
Ryan's going with Bone Town. Okay, love to hear it. And Matt?
See, orgy time.
I mean,
That's right.
you're reading the room.
I also feel like I know that people were frozen in ash doing the nasty.
Just a second.
I don't think I'd be able to zone out and
No
like
way.
disassociate from the moment and actually like partake in sex if I knew there was like the world was on fire.
Although maybe it's just insane.
Oh, like the best sex ever?
Oh no!
Points to neither of you.
Are you kidding me?
That's right. Little pillows.
Wow.
That's cute. It's adorable. It's kind of dumb.
That's somewhat logical, I suppose, if you got hit by a smaller rock.
This dude is zigging and zagging.
He's taking a bath, and then after that's like, oh, let's tie pillows to our heads. Like, that's crazy to me.
Pliny the Elder, with his pillow crown, made it back to the shore, but found the sea too rough to flee that way. Now, perhaps realizing fortune had abandoned the bold, Pliny laid down on an unfurled sail and asked for some cold water. Suddenly, flames and sulfur gas dispersed his party. As Pliny the Younger writes, quote, Pliny the Elder raised himself up with the assistance of 2 of his servants and instantly fell down dead, suffocated, as I conjecture, by some gross and noxious vapor, having always had a weak throat. R.I.P. to a real one. Meanwhile, across the Bay of Naples, for Pliny the Younger and Plinia, things were only marginally better. By the morning after the first eruptions, the buildings in Misenum were teetering on the brink of collapse from all the seismic activity. Pliny the Younger, his mother, and a panic-stricken crowd decided to flee. With their chariots unable to travel over the shaking ground, everyone set off on foot. Ash fell all around them, and they had to brush it off to keep... you know what? I'm just gonna have Pliny the Younger speak for himself. Pliny!
Night came upon us, not such as we have when the sky is cloudy, or when there is no moon, but that of a room when it is shut up, and all the lights put out. You might hear the shrieks of women, the screams of children, and the shouts of men, some lifting their hands to the gods, but the greater part convinced that there were now no gods at all. And the final, endless night, of which we have heard, had come upon the world!
Damn.
Wow. I mean, I guess if I knew the end was coming, I thought about it a little bit more. There would be a part of me that's like stoked to see, you know, like the after credits scene.
Yeah,
I know what's happening
the
next.
Earth is shooting fire, and that's not a thing you knew it could do. I guess you'd assume this was it.
Yeah, you'd be like, all right, well, we'll see what happens in the sequel.
By the next morning, light began to return to the world. But as Pliny writes, quote, every object that presented itself to our eyes, which were extremely weakened, seemed changed, being covered deep with ashes, as if with snow. Plinia and her son had survived. While the experiences of the Plinies sound downright hellacious, their accounts were from the fringes of Vesuvius's devastation. In Pompeii, circumstances were worse than my puppet brain could ever imagine. By the time Plinia asked Pliny the Elder about that strange cloud to the east, that same cloud had already blocked out the sun for the residents of Pompeii. Evacuating at this time would turn out to be your only chance of survival. 7 hours later, the eruptions had become more violent, and Pompeii was buried in about 9 feet of ash and pumice. At this point, those who hadn't fled were either already dead or trapped by blocked doors or collapsed roofs. This is when things started getting bad.
Started getting bad?
Yeah, starting.
Undersell.
You just said their house was crushed by 9 feet of ash. I couldn't help but like think what I would do if I was in this situation and you were like really fucked. You couldn't run away.
I feel like I'd probably ride it out and just die. I'd be like, you know what? I'm just gonna hunker down here,
Yeah.
and then I'd be done for.
I'm a big, let's stay in place and see what's up. I mean, I'm not gonna go outside.
So we'd all die, is what we agree.
I guess so.
I'm soft.
Yeah, me too. Literally. Now, falling debris is one thing. Ceaseless earthquakes are another. But the real problem to watch out for in a volcano are the pyroclastic flows. Pyroclastic flows are clouds of ash, toxic gas, and burning rock that surge along the ground at 60 to 100 miles per hour, increasing temperatures to around 750 degrees Fahrenheit. Early the next morning came the largest of several pyroclastic flows that dealt the final blow to Pompeii. In 2 minutes, the city streets were covered in an additional 8 feet of hot ash, and anyone who hadn't already escaped would have asphyxiated.
Yikes.
So just a big wave of death, basically.
You know, I reflected on my position. In fact, I think I actually might do the thumbs up.
Oh, yeah, actually.
Like in T2 Judgment Day.
That's very funny, because as I was talking about that, I was imagining that scene where she's looking at the chain link fence and she's like, "Yeah!" In total, Mount Vesuvius rained hell upon Pompeii for 36 hours. When it was all over, the average depth of the debris on top of the town was 20 feet. Oh, what percent of Pompeii's residents perished due to Vesuvius? A, approximately 9%. B, approximately 17%. Or C, approximately 33%. All right, Ryan.
Going C, 33%.
And Maddie?
C, 33%.
No points for either of you.
What?
Approximately 17% is the number we're looking for. The only nugget of optimism to come out of this story is that most of the residents were able to evacuate before the pyroclastic flows devastated the town. Still, of Pompeii's approximately 12,000 residents, 2,000 sadly perished. Still a fair amount of people.
Yeah, but it's like, we've been talking about this for, what, eons now? I mean, I don't want to be like, oh, it's a couple thousand people, but I thought it was worse.
What was that percentage of people doing when everyone was evacuating? Were they just like, I don't believe it. Yeah. I'm not buying it.
Volcano, I'll believe it when I see it.
They were on Facebook talking about how it was a Democratic hoax.
Yeah, the lamestream media pushing this volcano narrative. Cut to 12 hours later and they're like, The first attempted excavations of Pompeii, besides survivors trying to recover buried belongings in the aftermath, began in the 3rd century CE. But the thick layers of ash and pumice proved too tough. Pompeii then sat, buried and forgotten, for more than 1,200 years, until modern excavations began in the 18th century. Vesuvius is still an active volcano, last experiencing a medium-sized eruption in 1631, which resulted in at least 4,000 casualties and triggered a tsunami. But that was almost 400 years ago. What about today? Oh, we've arrived at our final question and thus the final opportunity for history points. How many people today live in the region around Vesuvius? And this is a free write.
All right.
Ooh, Price is Right rules or what?
All right, Ryan?
I put 4,000 candle wicks.
Oh, that's fucked.
A bit tactless, but Matt, what'd you put?
I put 60,000 people, because that's what they are.
That's right.
People.
Double points for you for recognizing some humanity and being closest to the answer. 3 million people.
What in the fuck?
The city of Naples sits a mere 8 miles away.
Oh shit.
All of the surrounding areas have evacuation plans in case Mount Vesuvius erupts, but still, it's the most populated volcanic area in the world.
That is crazy.
It's nutty. Well, that concludes our history lesson. I'm going to go tally the scores to see who receives the coveted cup and the title of History Master. While I do that, please enjoy this special performance from Mount Vesuvius. What a get. Okay.
Didn't you say Pompeii was 12,000 people back in the day?
Yeah, so you thought that they didn't even replace that much.
Yeah, I figured they'd go way down, not go 3 million.
People get on with it.
People get on with it.
I mean, what are we doing? We're on a barren wasteland waiting to get our shit rocked big time.
That is true.
We're as dumb as they are. Dang, son.
I find this very rich that my candlewick joke was called tactless, and here he is singing a song as the volcano.
People change.
What a beautiful morning.
Oh my god.
Tummy's a little grumbly though. Pompeii, a beautiful day. Check me chillin' in a geological way. I'm Vesuvius. Some say the grooviest volcano they know in the West Coast Bay. Excuse me, but you see, I got a little case of planetary diarrhea. So, I'm gonna blow the ashes up the asses of the masses below. I'm Mount Vesuvius. I hate to do this. Just gonna bury your town real quick. Cause spewing goose my truth. Apologies to the Bay of Napoli, but I got a lot of lava gotta get out of me. Well, I'm hot and I'm quaking and shaking geothermally, but it's not to be taken. Please don't take it personally. Please, I beg of you. Come on, everybody. Pompeii. If you're feeling it, shout it back. Okay, well, seems that a number of people down there are covered in ash, and I don't know that they're singing so much as screaming. I'll take it. Let's do the chorus one more time. I'm Mount Vesuvius. And I hate to make your town beneath my pyroclastic surges. And you have to know that even Mother Nature gets the runs. This could all have been prevented with a million tons of tongue.
Man.
I liked that the song contained both the phrase, I hate to do this, while also containing the phrase, blow ashes up the asses.
Well, I think he's just he's working through some stuff. All right, let's see how we did. Ryan Bergara, who thinks bears are scarier than volcanoes,
That is not true.
has come in second place. Congratulations, Ryan.
Wait a second.
That means the History Master is Matt Real. Thank you, Matt. Wonderful work.
Wait a second, let's...
Hush.
Thank you.
Matt, if you'll go to your front door right now, there is a prize waiting for you.
Is that real?
Yes.
Go get your trophy so we could talk about the bear comment. I've I've never stated that. I think bears are the scariest animal in the world.
You're on record as always talking about, bears this, bears that. Bears are the scariest thing in the world.
Bears are the scariest predator in the world. They are the apex predator.
You're a little baby, aren't you?
A bear would make light work out of you.
Can I eat these?
Yes, as you can see, they are sealed and safe for these times. That is the coveted cup, and you so rightly deserve it. You are the history master, and I am very proud of you.
Thank you.
Ryan, thank you also for participating. Thank you for watching Puppet History. We'll see you next week.
He's Mount Vesuvius. He hates to do this. He's gonna bury it. Here comes the goo.